What up? Yeah. My Negro League jacket on tonight. I'm borrowing it, but it's nice. So I decided to use it until I put on my actual Negro League jersey. But I want to save that for a white heaven. So I'm not going to burn that one up. But anyway, digging to China, part two. And as y'all can see on that little, they call the thumbnail, daggone, it says China or bust. Now that literally means two things. China or bust, bust being that you don't make it, bust being that you don't complete the journey, you die in there, or bust being that a combustible explosion. Now, before people think that this is a wild antic I'm throwing out there, there's nothing wild to be said about this. Um, they've never dug to China. They never accomplished that, right? So, because they never accomplished that, that's never been done. I don't want to read verbatim what it says from the Pierce County Auditor. I want y'all to understand. Uh, no, I am going to read it. Give me a second. Let me clear my throat, and I'll wrap it all together pretty soon. The Pierce County Auditor Office receives hundreds of data requests from the public every year. Voters' names, addresses, and birth dates are considered public information and subject to release. A mistake was recently made by a staff member, and in addition to the information listed above, voters' names, addresses, birth dates, the last four digits of your social security number were mistakenly released to a local person who requested public voter registration data. We regret the, the error and have worked with the requester to delete the data from their email account and trash bin. The requester has been fully cooperative with our investigation. We have confirmed that there was no widespread dissemination of information and no retention or copying of the information by the requester. This unauthorized access was not the result of any third party breach of a technology system. This kind of mistake, listen, this kind of mistake has never happened before. And we have enhanced our protocols to prevent this kind of mistake from occurring again. You go back to that third or that second to last paragraph and read something, just go over it real quick. We have confirmed that there was no widespread dissemination of information and no retention or copying of the information by the requester. So, meaning that they didn't put anything out there using the information, supposedly, and they didn't retain or copy the information, so called by the request. Now, I don't know that. Now, I have to, along with probably thousands of people in Tacoma, if not for sure hundreds, but possibly thousands of people in Tacoma, I'm going to have to figure out who this individual is, find out exactly what business they work for, la-di-da, la-di-da. But did we all catch that part where it said, I want to read that again, too. This kind of mistake has never happened before. Understand me, y'all. They have the ability to give out people's social security number, but can't dig their ass to China. I need you to understand what I'm saying. The technology it takes for a person to be able, because in order for you to get that back in the day, you'd have to write that down or take a photograph or something. There's a lot more work done to get all that information as opposed to it being sequestered in an area and it being made available to your persons. Now you have a situation where They're saying it's one individual, but I don't know that. I don't. Me, my roommate, and a couple other people for sure I seen got these pieces of mail. So I'm trying to figure out how many people in Tacoma are affected by it. And then I'm trying to figure out how could that be. Once again, this has never happened. You're telling me that they managed to do something. I won't call it new under the sun because people have made very similar, if not the same exact kind of mistake before, giving people way too much information and it costing people or having to ask people to forget what they saw, so to speak, forget what they heard. It's crazy. Anyway, that being said, the dig to China should happen then, right? I mean, that's never happened either, right? That letter, the end of it, has never happened before. Let's just cross out the mistake. This, and let's just cross out this kind of mistake. This kind of mistake, cross out these words. This has never happened before, would be just as sufficient. But they're saying that undoubtedly this was a mistake. Somebody did this not purposely. I need for the kind of mistake that let this to happen, I need somebody to mistakenly dig their ass to China. Can you hear me? I need them to navigate the natural gas pockets, the underground storage tanks, the cities that are subterranean still, the bases and the and the storages that are used by a multitude of companies and government agencies. Eh, I need that. I need somebody to make that mistake. Are they going to? Think about what I just read to y'all. That's going to be the premise of tonight. They mistakenly gave up everybody's information. The only part of my social you need is the last four. What the fuck? You gonna give them? Listen, y'all. A person get your name, your address, and your birthday, and your last four. What the fuck? I'm not making this shit up. What does that say right there, huh? Pierce County Auditor's Office. Makes me sick. That's the kind of shit that you have to deal with on an earth where they're not trying to dig to China. Why ain't there some kind of race to dig to China like there was to build a fucking transcontinental railroad? Don't act like I don't know what happened in this country or how they built it. And they claim they got the Chinese to build it, but that's not true. Listen, I love watching TV shows that are older because you get to see the sellout in individuals. Check this out. NY Undercover, right? And you know they got your dude Malik Yoba playing the brother. And every time I watch it, I just be like, I see the not brother tendencies that this dude really has. And it's like, you being exposed for being a tranny lover is one thing. But if people just go back and just watch this show, you can see the diction in which he speaks with certain things about certain matters. Like, I'm going to give it to you like this. So there was an episode where he plays a substitute teacher and they're talking about who built the railroads in America. Now I need y'all to understand. They would have you to believe that the Chinese built it, but they didn't. They helped build it. They were there, but they didn't build the railroads. Black people did all that work for the most part. I'm just being 100,000 with you. Anybody that want to dispute that can. The Chinese are not capable of building anything with any true longevity. That's why the buildings that they build over there now be crumbling and falling down. That's why their shit be getting washed away with floods and all that. It's not just because how vicious the storm or whatever it is. It's also the craftsmanship. But that's neither here nor there. Having said that, the dig to China or digging to China should have been such an endeavor, it should have been that great. The, the dig from China to the US. Why did the Chinese try to dig here first? Hmm? They got the people. The Indians. Why ain't nobody? You're a billion strong. Y'all already make motherfuckers beg and cut their arms and legs off and shit to make money. So why not let them have a whole body and do something that's worth something for their whole life? Or are you afraid that people are gonna dig their ways into methane pockets and other sort of natural gases that are immediately fatal once contact hits because of the concentration of it and the inescapability of it? This is why in the old movies and also in the old movies and back in the day, what they used to do before they used to go into caves and before they used to do anything where they were going underground, they would put a canary or a dog or some kind of animal in the cage and they would lower that motherfucker down and they'd pull it back up. And if the animal was still alive after they had lowered it into a certain depth that was measured, and it was still alive, they were like, okay, it's safe to go down there. But if the animal was dead, it's not safe to go down there. So I get all of that part about it. But I'm saying, shouldn't these guys, just like Brother Wickham was saying today, like, don't they have instruments that can detect those natural gases in the earth? So you guys could technically just dig around all that. Like, there are no excuses. And I'm laughing because niggas think I'm a hater. How am I a hater when I, I have the newest ideas? I'm on another tip. I'm not even worried about the world ending and these niggas nuking it out or whatever. Whenever the Most High God comes back, he'll be back. I just pray I'm ready. That's it. But as far as everything else is concerned, I can challenge the uh the accepted system and the what they say. It's not just the way that things are. What is it? The construct, right on? The organized construct that is right now. I accept it. People can't tell me that I'm doing something wrong or that I'm in the wrong. Dig to China. Like I said, I'll pay for it. Right on? We'll start with a super small down payment. We got to see you get all the way down to the earth first. We got to know that you really mean it. You know, like I said, I'll put up the money for the space shovels first. I might pay for lunch here and there. But yeah, you dig first and get your ass all the way down there to where you need a rope to get out. Then I'll buy the rope. Then once you get to the part to where you need braces and things like that in the earth because you're starting to dig down and around, then we'll go about that. But you ain't telling me shit. When you need the oxygen and the I don't know what kind of I don't know what kind of instrument it would be to read the natural gases. I can't think of the name of something like that right now, right off top of red. And it could be something simple, but it could be something complicated too, as far as how they pronounce it. So I don't even want to think about it. But that alone, all those tools alone, that's like, man, I'm ready to rent some stuff. I want to see somebody dig to China. It would be a highly impressive feat to see that. You know what I mean? It would be like one of those things where it's like, okay, you got me. I owe you an apology. I was wrong. I lied. But let's just talk about something real deep, real quick. So that day that we had spoke, or that night, possibly the night before, the little Chinese dude went off down there, killed a whole bunch of people. Monterey Park, I want to say. Then the other dude goes off and kills a whole bunch of people. Between the two of them, 18 people, right? Killing up folks. Now, what I thought was awkward is that nobody spoke on the fact that they're calling this a lunar new year. So they're saying that this is when the moon's new year begins, so to speak. And I just laugh because I'm like, but how many days off is this from April, though? You see what I'm saying? Or from the end of March going into April. Right. Like, that's dangerous. But these are the times that we live in, and I accept it. And I just realized that life will never be different. You know, uh, they will never accept that what they've been telling us and what they told us is just not true. I laughed. I listened to an individual today. I didn't even comment on the video that I heard him speak on. I'm gonna put the link to their video in this joint when I get done with the live stream and I let it settle on YouTube for like, 6 to 8 hours. I'm gonna take the link from their video, and I'm gonna put it into this joint. And I want y'all, when you can catch it, to go catch, even if you don't watch the whole video, like your boy does, just listen to the part to where Ben Franklin is going at the necks of all these other European dudes. And tell me what number of them have I named before myself, not knowing that Ben Franklin said any of this himself. I never said Brent. I just know everybody knows. Okay? Just like John Legend said, just like the old white dude said, right on. I forget who sang it first, right on. Yeah, everybody knows. Okay? Everybody knows it. They look different. They listen. He said they got a suave complexion. Boy, I like to kick the whole table over, laugh, fall over on the ground at the same time because this shit is too crazy. Because I'm like, they saying the same shit I've been saying this whole time. When these guys got here, they looked a certain way. So when they was having babies with certain kinds of people, the children were coming out looking a certain kind of way. So really, you ain't really white, you passing. What do you think swarthy means? You're just a passing ass dude. Clay Thompson got a swarthy complexion. Word. His hair is loose enough to say that because he could just cut it and keep it short. It's not like being a super light skinned, white skinned black person as opposed to somebody that actually has Anglo or uh, some sort of Caucasian or Caucasoid, Mongoloid person in their family, because all those things do matter. All those things do eventually manifest to become something. And so for this individual to pretty much say what I've been saying all these years, you know, through someone else who's been dead for, he's pretty much trying to say, this guy was saying it before this dude was saying it, but it don't matter. Y'all weren't saying this shit at all. I've been saying it. I've been saying that Germans and all those dudes got some dirty blood. I've been saying that all of them were tamed by black people. Shh. Y'all know I said it. I said they ain't gonna dig their ass to China though. Prove that. Prove that they can dig to China. Right. See, I stand on principles of I know they can't dig to China. That's where I stand, but I'll play the thought advocate, the thinker's advocate. I don't have no issue with that. But that's some bullshit. Because at the end of the day, I have to capitulate. Whoa, this person really believes that they know that much more, huh? How much do you really know? Like, tell me, at what part would you consider the dig to China as much a spectral thing, what you can see, feel, sense, right? Uh, uh, taste. You understand what I'm talking about? Like all the different things. When does it become just as much that so that way you're like, when we dig around pockets that are methane, or in some cases I'm sure there would be propane pockets, but they'd be higher up, but they wouldn't be as far down as methane would. They would be higher up. And just all the other natural gases that you find on the earth, you know, those things. Even sulfur pockets are on the earth. They're just not as prevalent. They're in caves more or less, but you can find sulfur in certain places of the earth, I'm sure, where if you dig down far enough, it's mixed into the soil. However, having said that, that's not the point that I'm making. The point that I'm making is that people would know what it feels like to be around those things. They'd have dug and been like, you know what? I've been digging for 20 years or this many years, and every time we dig around this kind of pocket, this is what it kind of smells like before that, or this is what it's like before that. There, right? Once again, that's spectrum. Just like cooking. Like when you can look at something and be like, no, that's done. And they're like, are you sure? You're like, man, and you cut it open for them and show them, they're like, damn, okay. Word, that's done. I know that's done. You just know. It's like one of those kind of things where they would have a natural feel for it. Now, do I like to break into the esoteric understanding of what people do for a living? No, because I don't want them to get the big head. I don't have the big head because I know how to live in a normal and natural means. You know, I just like to let people know, like, the way I feel about myself is just the same they feel about themselves, right on, if not greater. And I don't have to have anything to prove that. I don't have to have none of this shit. I done changed what I think is not just the narrative that what people speak on, but a lot of things which they talked about. And they can not give me none of that credit. They don't need to. They're like, he's too young. It's whatever. When I get to get about the situation that I'm in, I'm never trying to dig to China. But I'm gonna let you guys know, like I said, that's what that sounds like to me. Sounds like they want to dig to China. Dudes who sell dope to their own people, okay, thinking that they're gonna eventually get out the hood, and just because they made it and then still complaining about how shit goes, them niggas might as well be trying to dig to China, dude. It's like, bro, you're crazy. You poison the well and you expect it to get better. How that work? Got the nerve to get frustrated and angry at those people. How that work? One of these days, y'all are gonna realize and see the things that they believe are more a danger and a detriment to their own health, not to mine or yours. If you don't really believe what they say, but you just nod your head and say, okay, sure. Right on. Certain things aren't meant, you don't have to fight. Look, this is authentic right here, baby. Yeah. Negro League style. They ain't gotta like it. Okay. It's what we do. We're winners, not losers. You know why we won? Because we woke up today. And that wasn't a moral victory. And God willing, the Most High God willing, and his angels of life subdue the angels of death. And that we live to see tomorrow. I'm telling y'all right now that the dig to China better be the coldest dig I ever seen. That might be. They might as well go ahead and make that the last. How about they just put down the nukes, put down the bullshit, and just start digging, and just say fuck it. Ain't nobody got to work no more. We just gonna dig from one side of the earth to the other. The jobs that you got are different. We're gonna give you different jobs. It's gonna translate to something different. Where that at? No, instead they try to kill each other and then tell you that they need a certain place that's not in the middle of the earth to be dominant. So why do you need to reign? I'm trying to figure this out. The earth is supposed to have a crust. Why can't you dig through the crust? Why can't you learn where all the pockets of all these natural gases are at? Is that too dangerous to do? Is that what you're saying? Awkward. But you would drop bombs in places of these same natural gas deposits, right? And you would allow for them to be ignited by a bomb that you drop or an explosion that you sent, right? A triggered explosion, a remote one. And now you're telling us that all of a sudden you digging to China would be any more dangerous than what you already do. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. These guys literally live in la la land. Like they're so far gone that they can't even put in their minds like concepts of why is he talking about digging to China? Why are they not? Why are they talking about going to Mars? Why aren't y'all pressing the line? Be like, hey man, let's dig to China first. Fuck Mars. All the so-called geniuses, Neil deGrasse Neil deGrasse Tyson, whatever the fuck that nigga's name is. You know what I'm saying? Neil Tyson deGrasse, whatever that nigga's name is. The guy who thinks that the universe. Listen, y'all don't know. I breaks his ass down right now. He believes that people are going to be broken down into a cosmic dust, pretty much. There's going to be some sort of event that just pulls our bodies into tiny little fragments and particles. Wow, how magical! Hear this. I think it's DeGrasse Tyson, but Tyson DeGrasse, whatever the fuck that nigga's name is. Okay, I'm piffed. I'm drinking, and I really just don't care what his name is. Y'all know who the fuck I'm talking about. Niggas like him. He ain't never pressed these dudes to dig to China. But he'll tell you the earth is a fucking circle. For that, he ought to be punished. Give that nigga his lashings. Okay? Lash that nigga up. And anybody else who talk like that. God, don't rest his soul, Stephen Hawking. He said there was no God. So why would I ask the Most High God to rest his soul? What kind of sense would that make? That'd be blasphemous in my book. Shit, yeah. He said what he said. He better lay on it. Because he damn sure couldn't stand on it. Can you hear me? I need y'all to understand. Neil deGrasse Tyson kissed my ass. Okay? Bitch ass nigga. Niggas like him ought to be stoned. Like the old school movies where their bodies up in the mud and people throwing rocks at their head, busting their shit up open. It's one thing for you to get your piece in a society. It's another thing for you to turn your back on what you know is right. All those guys are taught that the Most High God is real. But they're so defiant they can't see the actuality of his existence. They are not his children, but they are rebellious. The people that are his children that are rebellious are going to get the worst of it because they know better. When are they going to dig to China? When are they going to dig to China? When are the Neil deGrasse Tysons? When are the what's the one dude's name, man? Elon Musk, little Middle Earth looking ass motherfucker. When is he? When are they going to say, man, we digging in China? When they going to do that? Huh? Huh? When Zuckerberg going to be like, I'm in on it? You talking about Meta? Bitch, do something tangible. Make a business called tangible. Where you gotta go to work and physically do some shit. These punk ass niggas is trying to find their way out of everything. Yeah, make a business called tangible. They got the money. Call it tangible. And the first project is we dig into China. What about that? How about that? We're gonna push back against Meta with an idea of proving that the earth is a circle. And we're gonna dig on the outer crust and we're gonna get there. Because we geniuses. What about that? We'll reset and restabilize everything within the earth as we go. So that it won't be perfect, but it's okay. We'll figure it out. This can't be any more volatile than having nuclear energy. It can't be. I'm just saying, folks sound completely ridiculous. Talking about Columbus sailed out to prove this bitch was a circle, a spherical circle, an elliptical. Really? Okay. I'm gonna accept that. The only thing I'm gonna push back with is this right here is that if that's the case, why didn't they start digging once they? Why didn't he dig from where he was at? Because they could have went to China, right? Wasn't Marco Polo Italian or some shit like that? Wasn't that before Columbus? Right. Why couldn't if that was the case, why couldn't a guy like that just go back, you go with like 4 or 5 emissaries and say, hey man, we're gonna dig from here to there. We're gonna prove them wrong. It's gonna take 8 lifetimes, 9 lifetimes, right? See what I'm saying? Why did they do that? Couldn't tell you. I don't know. People, he bringing up Marco Polo. Yeah, nigga. He was over there. Right. He was over there. Didn't they say that Christopher Colombo was Italian anyway? Ah, let me stop. That's what those niggers said. Best not believe them. Even if I did look into it myself, and there is some credible claims to that. So the question being this: if you have an individual who could have done something from another part of the earth, went from that part of the earth to this other part of the earth that they wasn't sure was there, could have even went from one spot, came back to the other spot, and guessed how far and how long that would take. It could have said it's going to be 1,000 year dig. They could have centralized slavery to being over in that part, dug that bitch from China to the US, or done both, had them meet somewhere close to the middle. What about the water? I keep telling y'all this. Doesn't matter. From that point, you would be building giant tubes, I guess, keep the water out or something like that, and build it across. And it would take however long that takes to build that shit up. Then there would be obviously a job in keeping it safe and protected from, wild animals, but not out there homiciding the animals in the water. Obviously, getting sightings of big, gigantic, you know, disastrous looking monsters. Yeah, no doubt. But if you could actually truly, if it's all like the way that they say it is, you should be able to go like boom, 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 just like that. It's not really that difficult when you like. Okay, they could say, "Bro, where you going to get that kind of tools from?" Do y'all? None of y'all probably ever heard of Big Bertha. Big Bertha is a gigantic freaking drill they have out here in Washington State that they use on the bridges out there close to Seattle, trying to get the little viaduct situation over there situated. Listen, listen. Bertha got broke, done been broke for so much. Listen, they call it Bertha. Listen, so all they would need is a bunch of Berthas. And whatever the husband of Bertha is. That's it. Can you hear me? That's the kind of shit I'm talking about. But they ain't never did that. Giant, giant ones where you could drive like it's a tank in the ground, and it's just meant to just doesn't matter, right? You got none of that. Why not? I don't know. Asking the wrong man. You're asking the wrong man why we don't have the things that I'm talking about. Just being able to just chop through the gravel because it has a giant ass spinner on it, and it's just you just plow through shit. And through the back of it, it fans the dirt so that way the next person behind you can keep doing that, and you guys create an actual literal burrow in that motherfucker. And then from the speed, the heat, and the constant motion, it builds like actual artificial walls that once they start to cool down, they become very hardened and very solidified. Right, because the natural moisture would be there for all that kind of stuff. This is just hypothetical, but this would happen in certain areas for sure. And this is why I'm like the fact that they never did it like this. I don't know. Maybe they did other things like that, and in a different scope or in a different scale. But what I'm talking about, I never seen it done. I want to see it. Fuck Mars. Okay. Do not care about going to no weak ass Mars or none of that weak shit. Show me what you can get done here on this earth. Go to the bottom of the ocean. Okay, you can't dig China. Go to the bottom of the ocean. I want to see it. Create some technology that can that can feed itself through the signal and the natural current of the water and the hydroelectricity current that it creates and the frequency that creates to feed itself to some sort of satellite mechanism where in which you actually can see in the bottom of the fucking ocean because you have natural Wi-Fi, internet, all that kind of shit down there with you. Oh, that's impossible? Why is that impossible? But you left the fucking planet to go to the moon. So it's not impossible. I don't want to hear that shit. Right. I don't want to hear it. Other niggas want to be confused and, no, 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 no. I'm not going out like that. They're not going to get me like that. Nope. 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 They don't get to get me like that. I'm sorry. Nope. What are they going to do? What are they going to change? Nothing. They're scared to death of their own shadows. I'd be scared to show my face if the things that I said could get me killed. Not because what I'm saying is so righteous, but because when the people reach out to me, I act as if, I don't know, I can speak to them any kind of way. When you tell people to take the crack pipe out your mouth or, that they're a welfare recipient of some sort or they did this and this. And that's not even being on no sensitive shit. It's like, do you so like are you aware of what support or non-support they've shown to you? Like, can you actually vindicate what the fuck you're saying? Because otherwise than that, you sound like a nigga who's out of your mind. But they don't want to hear that, right? Because everybody pumped their head up and tell them about how much nigga. I'm glad that people do not need me because they were never supposed to need me. They were supposed to need the Most High God this whole time, right? We don't beg for nothing. We don't ask for nothing. You gotta, when I say don't ask, I'm talking about like shit that I want, I'll go buy it myself. I told her about my homeboy who overdosed, and when we was considerably younger. I was like, this is 10 years ago, okay, or going on 10 years. It's really close to 10 years ago, if not 10 years ago. I'll never forget it though. We're at the store. I'm waiting to hear word back from a job. Right, I done put in applications everywhere. Excuse me. He's trying to hold me down. It's but I barely been around for like 8 hours, 9 hours. We go to the store and bro's like, "Yeah, man, get you a beer." And I see this pipe. I'm like, "Man, it's too bad I ain't got the money for that." He's like, "Get your money up." And I didn't say nothing to this nigga. I wanted to sock his whole head off right when he said that because I took that like as a slight. But now it's just like being like older. It's like I hear you, my nigga. Right? If you want that shit, nigga, get your money right, nigga. Right on. You feel me? Don't sit there and hope and wish for nothing. But I wasn't hoping and wishing for nothing. I was just was speaking out loud what my mind had thought. But that also told me like just keep certain shit to yourself. Or like, you know, I look out for people the best that I can, but I don't owe nobody nothing as far as like owing them. I don't owe nobody. I'm not trying to owe nobody. So when I explain the things that I'm explaining to the people, it's not like I owe it to anybody to say the things that I say. I'm not even attempting to vindicate my reasoning, let alone clarify or verify that what I'm saying is factual or truth. I'm merely implementing the thoughts that how I have perceived the information. If what they claim is undoubtedly true, that they have indeed gone to the moon, then the endeavor of digging to China seems relatively mundane. You don't have to leave the earth to do it. Right. That was the whole thing about going to the moon is you had to leave the earth. You don't even have to leave the earth to do this shit. It's like going to the bottom of the ocean. You don't have to leave the earth to accomplish that. That's deep. So why they haven't done that, I have no idea. Look at this right here. I just want y'all to see this jacket one time, man, before your boy get up out of here. Because you know how we do. Okay? We actually do the damn thing. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Negro League Baseball, baby. That's right. Telling you, they ain't never known nobody to get on the shit and just act up like this. You know, not as not. I mean, there's probably been a few brothers hop on the YouTube in the years with their Negro League stuff on, but I just want everybody to know, like, man, like I really move like that. This ain't a this ain't a gimmick. If I see you down and out, I'm gonna help you. Or and I'm not even going shit on your ideas if you believe in something that I don't believe in. I just know that I can only support you so much because I can't bless the wicked. Yeah, you may indeed be wicked in what you're trying to do. I'm not saying my brothers and my sisters that I most closely am cohorted with, but the individuals who are the brothers and sisters that that are loosely cohorted with, and all those that I have never met and have yet to meet. Right. I could easily fall astray. No man is infallible. So when I say easily fall astray, it's just find myself back doing dumb shit that I used to do that I ain't been doing. There's no need to. You don't have to make more money having a job. You can easily save more money having a job because you don't, you're, you need people to support the business. But when you work and you create the product to the degree that you're actually the last hands to touch it, right? Before a server or somebody takes it out, that's where you have the control. And that's where you get the most love from. Okay. Uh, they don't want to have that kind of control because if they had that kind of control, they would lose their minds. The people who sell dope are no different than the people that'll talk about we're able that the earth is a circle and then theoretically we could dig to China. They're no different. They're saying that theoretically these people are all going to get off the dope one day and this will just be a phase in their life. Or they'll all be able to get jobs and be dope fiends and have jobs. Now think about that. That's what I mean. I want to see it. Show me a county of people where I'm not talking about people who are prescribed drugs. I'm talking about literal dope fiends. Show me. I want to see it. Because that's what digging to China sounds like. All my fiends work for minimum wage. Right. That's digging to China sounds just like that. Sounds stupid. Just like that. That's what a drug dealer must have thought was going to happen. Oh, he'll keep his job and making $25 an hour. Said a guy who was saying this in 1991. Stupid ass nigga. Dude lost the job, lost everything. Now he's just a pookie out there. And the nigga who turned him into pookie got nerve to talk shit about him. Talking about he had a good ass job and decided to smoke it away. While the same nigga who's saying that won't say that he was selling them the shit. And that's what got him like that. You know, I always show y'all something. For my people who like to drink some good stuff out there, this is some old Forester, 1870. It's pretty good. And yeah, they're like, oh, why are you advertising these white folks? Man, shut the fuck up. I ain't advertising nobody. Um, Nobody watch my channel anyway, but a few people. So it ain't like it matters. I just want y'all to know what I'm sipping on. I know, just know that I'm not sipping on no Evan Williams or no Wild Turkey. Know that I'm not sipping on no damn old Rich and Rare, unless it's a combo of regular and green apple. And I'm being cheap, and I'm just buying shots. But I told you I don't buy cheap ass bottles. I buy cheap shots. That's one thing. Once again, I'm back to digging the China. If they can evade all the natural gas deposits and the loose sediment and just pretty much general misfortune, if they can avoid all those things or at least temper them down and mitigate them, they have an excellent chance of digging the China. And they should try to. I believe they should try to. Brothers and sisters, before I head out, I just wanted to let you guys know that this has always been an honor and a pleasure for me to bring this forth. These sort of things, because they ought to be spoken. Will they dig to China? Probably not. Will people press them to dig to China? Even less likely. Will anyone even speak on this other than me? No. But just know that it's been an honor to bring another very obscure and mundane sort of esoteric ish lesson to the people. Because, like I said, if they were really truly great at what they were doing, they would realize and recognize in certain areas, in certain dimensions, that this is a certain kind of pocket of whatever natural mineral or gas. This is another pocket or natural mineral or gas. This is a combined thing of these things. So they would learn how to mitigate, possibly turn into an advantage or something that would be used as a benefit more than it would be something that's a handicap or possibly even a a malicious or malevolent force. So when I say what I'm saying these things to say this. They never gave themselves the time to figure out what true genius was. And if they had never tried to go against what has already been established, their genius, in which they believe it is, would be far greater than what they could ever know, could ever imagine. But because they've limited themselves to believing that we live on an orb and have limited their search ability and their research ability of this earth to the idea that what has been created is sufficient and will be sufficient, yet somehow still seek out and desire to conquer or to explore that which is unknown, but have yet to conquer and explore all that which is unknown upon the earth wherein which we live. This is a troubling matter. It should be troublesome to all individuals who have a working and operating mind. My mind is not the only sound mind on the earth. I just believe that I have a most sound mind. I'm working on having the most sound mind. Some days I feel like my mind is the most sound. Then other days, not so much. My mind is one of the most sound minds right now, undoubtedly. The soundness of it is sobering, angering, relief, disbelief, shock, awe, bitterness, joy, comfort, gladness, triumph, victory, defeat. Do you understand? It is, it is righteousness, electness, anointedness, chosenness, holiness, when your mind is sound. Because a man and a woman with a sound mind may not agree with all things that they do, but they agree that they must love and continue to search out the Most High God because He is their only chance. With that said, there is no need to dig to China when I can search out the Most High God. I salute you, brothers. I salute you, my sisters. And I salute all my people. May tomorrow truly be better than today. And may your next week be better than your last. May you remember and always keep in your heart and keep in your minds that there is one life to live. We have one chance to make amends with He that is on high. Do not squander your time trying to dig somewhere that you cannot reach.